What's going on, Yu-Gi-Oh fans? PlotArmorCards in the house, and today I'm back with another TCG player article that's called the 10 cards everybody wants from Tactical Masters. So I wasn't that excited by Tactical Masters personally because I know it's a pendulum-focused set, and so I don't know that much about Tactical Masters so far, other than the runics and whatnot. So this is definitely something that I feel like I should look at and see what cards are popular, because I have taken a quick glance at this stuff. The trap deck honestly looks kind of interesting. The runics look really, really nice. Other than that, I think there's a Droll and Lockbird reprint, but let's go ahead and look into this. So number 10, we got Astrograph Sorcerer. Now, I remember this back in the day was banned, right? So let's see. If you're not playing Pendulums, you might have forgotten that Astrograph Sorcerer is back at 1. Yep, so if it's back at 1, that means it was banned at one point, right? It was forbidden for multiple formats, so despite its return and Performapal Monkey being limited again, and Skull Crobat Joker being at 3, and Beyond the Pendulum finally being released. Okay, so this has insane potential. So definitely I would say if you're into Pendulums, for sure, this is something worth picking up. Next, we got Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch. So if you control a Fiend monster, you can target one card on the field, destroy it, then you can send one Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. Now, these are the new, on the art at least, it is the new girls from the Trap archetype. I'm just forgetting what they're called. Labyrinth, I think. Labyrinth girls. Yeah, so these, they just look, the archetype looks really, really fun to play with. I know it's searchable with one of the cards in the archetype. Plus, it pops off a lot of different combos for this deck. So for sure, I would say if you're interested in this deck, this is one that's probably worth picking up. Plus, it can probably be used in a lot of different Fiend decks as well. Next, we got Welcome Labyrinth. Now, this card is the sole reason why I kind of don't want to pick up this deck right now. It's because it's freaking $11. Special summon one Labyrinth monster from your deck, also until the end of the next turn until this card resolves. You cannot special summon monsters from the deck or extra deck except Fiend monsters. If a monster leaves the field by your normal trap effect while this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was set there, you can set this card. So great recyclability. It doesn't say anything about banishing it when it's done. So overall, I think this card is really, really good for the archetype. Plus, it's just a good card. But I'm going to wait for tomorrow just to see what it ends up being like on the market, because usually day one is when everything is the cheapest. So if I can get this around $5-6, not saying it's going to be that cheap, but if I can get this around $5-6, probably would be a decent pickup for me. Next, we got Shino Home, the Valiants Princess. Now, I know nothing about this card. So the Runic and Labyrinth themes are relatively easy to understand, but the first strategy focuses on decking your opponent out, and the other is Deluge of Traps. But Valiants, they do things. They're pendulum monsters that do things, like switching cards between columns. All the Valiants do different things. Okay, that just complicates it even more. However, if this person thinks that this is worth picking up, I would definitely say that it's worth looking into. The cheapest version, I guess, for this is about $3.59. I don't know if this is a collector's rare version. It's probably why it's a little more expensive, but that's something we'll have to look into as we go into it. Next, we got Ariana, the Labyrinth Servant. So, yes, sir, some of the Labyrinth cards. These cards are like, they have waifu potential, so I can see these being a little bit more expensive. And this one, I think, is as a higher rarity. I'm pretty sure it's a collector's rare. I could be mistaken there. But this card is really, really good throughout the archetype as in general. So I initially thought Lady of the Labyrinth would be more sought after than Ariana the Labyrinth Servant, but keep in mind that all the benefits I mentioned about Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch compound when you start to consider this card. Anything that both searches you new cards and has the capability to draw out more of them is going to have a lot going for it. This is true. And if you ever played a trap-heavy deck, you know that resource management and acceleration is the name of the game. You may have the right cards to thwart your opponent, but if you can't lay down your traps before they play all this stuff and invalidate your defenses, you won't have the chance. This is fair. This is a fair assessment. I would definitely say when you're playing trap-based decks, you want to be able to get out cards quickly, and you want to be able to set yourself up in situations where you can actually activate the traps around before your opponent can destroy them and get rid of your defenses. So overall, multiple free cards, infinite advantage, time to win. So yeah, overall, I would say this is a good card, definitely worth. You're gonna have to pick this up if you're playing the Labyrinth strategy, like I will be. Hopefully, if this gets cheap enough. Antispell Fragrance. Now, Antispell Fragrance is an insane card. Insane card. Most players must set spell cards before activating them and cannot activate them until the next turn after setting them. This has insane potential to shut down so many decks. It's crazy. However, I think there's enough printings of this card already, and if you didn't want, unless you were looking for like I'm 100% sure this is the collector's rare. 100% sure this is a collector's rare. Yep. Okay. But yeah, this, from what I've seen, looks really, really nice. But if you're just looking for the common copy or whatever, I guess it's not that big of a deal just because it is already been printed a bunch of times. And I think the version I picked up, they were, I think, super rares or something like that. But they're shiny. Okay, that's all you need to know. But yeah, they were relatively cheap even before this card was announced. So collector's rare, definitely looks nice. If you're into that, definitely I would say this is one of the most sought after cards in the set. Moving forward, at number 4, we have Valiants Wars, The Place of Beginning. Now, if I remember incorrectly, this card helps you search your field spell, and then it has the potential to destroy a pendulum card and then pop off a lot more combos and combo with that, essentially. So definitely, I say if you're trying out the new Valiants deck, this is a card that is going to be needed. It's definitely a good card for pendulums in general. Next, we got Cosmic Cyclone. Now, this is also coming out in Collector's Rare, and I think I bought out Cosmic Cyclone. I didn't buy it out, but I bought a couple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and they were relatively cheap. So if you're going for the Collector's Rare, again, it always does look really, really nice. I would say definitely is something that people are looking at and is maybe even worth it. That's up to you to decide, right? But Cosmic Cyclone, if you're just buying like the common or the rare version, whatever printing this is, there have been printings that have been cheap in the past. So I don't know how expensive they were at one point, but this one is not... It's a good card, so if you still haven't picked it up, definitely pick it up for 33 cents. But this is probably the version that I would say is more sought after in that situation. Next, Droll and Lockbird. Oh, I cannot wait to get my hands on this card. I'm so happy I cheaped out on this card when it was 15. I was going to pick up a playset, but I was like, nope, let's just wait on this. And now it's $2.28 as a rare in this set. I have not picked it up yet, and so I am planning to do that tomorrow during the day 1 release. Yes, this card is really, really good. I think it's underrated. Might not be good in this format maybe, but in the next format and maybe the one after that is really, really good. At number 1, Runic Fountain, Runic Tip, and Hugin the Runic Wings. I'm so excited for Runic Archetype. It just seems like a super, super fun archetype. You guys can watch my video of me playtesting that archetype. I had a lot of fun with that. I was taking out a lot of different decks with just this card, you know? And the thing is, I did not expect it to be that expensive. Holy crap, I'm not paying $23 for a field spell times 3. I know it's really good, so it's a high price is justified, right? But I'm also not paying 3 copies of this thing for $12 each and 3 copies of this thing for $14 each. Don't get me wrong. It's a good, really, really good archetype. Definitely not in my price range as of now. However, if you can afford it, I would definitely say this is worth picking up. And I can completely understand why everybody's so excited about this, because a lot of people can afford this, and a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this, and I'm going to cry because I'm not going to pick it up because it's going to be too expensive. However, day 1 miracles always happen, right? If these things like get slashed in half, we'll see. We might be able to pick it up. We'll just see how that goes, guys. But looks like that was number 1. So overall, I would say, as someone who hasn't done too much research into the new set itself, I would definitely say number 1 and number 2 were probably my number 1 and number 2. And it also has a couple other cards that I was excited about personally in this deck or in this list, such as the Labyrinth cards and whatnot. So I would definitely say overall this is a pretty good list. I know the pendulums are I think the main attraction for this set. I could be mistaken there, but yeah, overall I think this is a pretty decent list. Obviously I think it's a subjective list, so it can be changed based on your opinion, and of course you can always let me know your opinion in the comments down below. This is PlotArmorCards signing out for the day. If you like what you see, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And oh my goodness, look at the time.
It's time to